Hey, welcome to Casual Coffee Talks. This is your host, Gabe, and our topic today is a very unique one. And I'm not just talking about your typical retail job, but more like something a little bit more special, wrangling. And I'm not talking about horse or bulls. No, we're talking bees here, and lots of them. So right now, I actually have one of my friends with me, Emberlyn. Welcome to the show.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Of course. So, Emberlyn, as far as bee wrangling as your occupation, how long have you been doing this for? And what exactly is bee wrangling?
Well, I've been doing this for a little over 2 years now officially. What it is exactly is we come in and bees like to set up shop, build hives inside of structures that people live in or work in.
Yeah.
And we basically get them out. We're a no-kill company, so we get them out into a box and basically transport them away and make sure that the bees can't come back.
Yeah, that's the most important part.
Yeah, because what's the point of removing them if, a month later, more bees.
Oh boy.
So we make sure that they customers only call us once and they never have to see us again.
Hey, that sounds like a good idea, right? Is it kind of like one of those things where once a bee kind of like sets up a hive, or when they do set up a hive and it gets removed somehow, they just kind of respawn there from like a scent or something, or?
Yeah, anywhere they build their honeycomb.
Oh wow.
Anything that their honeycomb touches is going to carry a scent, and bees are very driven by pheromone and scent marking. So even if someone were to remove most of the bees there, if they did not remove any of that comb, more bees would just fly by, sniff that out.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden you'll see a giant cloud of bees hovering over the area, and then they disappear, and they're like, where did they go? And it's like, oh, they just moved into that real estate that other bees had set up. So they're like, this is a great spot. We don't have to look very far. It's just right here. Let's just move in. They don't even have to be the same colony.
Oh, wow.
So we remove all of that. And yeah, if you're not very thorough, you're going to get the same problem again.
Yeah.
So that's part of our profession, is being thorough, making sure we get everything so that customers don't have to call us again, because I don't want to say it's a costly service, but
it could be, right?
You get what you pay for. I mean, it takes more time than simply pouring poison into a place, because we do not use poison or anything. We actually spend extra time hand scooping them.
Oh wow, that sounds crazy.
Using nothing but smoke and basically using their own behaviors to get them to move into a box so that we could transport them to our network of beekeepers, apiaries. We got farms all up here in San Diego that are looking for bees and are happy to house them. So, but first, before we take them there, they go to BHAB.
BHAB, so kind of like rehab, except you're kind of like reprogramming them a little bit, right?
Yeah, because it's kind of traumatic for the bees to be taken out of their natural space and being moved. So basically we put them in the box, take them to our BHAB area where we have a bunch of hives set up.
Yes.
And then our own beekeepers will tend to them and make sure that they transition from the box into their hive box, where they will be comfortable and the trauma will have ended by then, and the bees will be happy and making honey.
Oh wow, got it. That is crazy. To me, it sounds nuts.
It's awesome.
Especially when you describe it as a big cloud of bees. That's pretty intimidating.
Yeah, everyday person is pretty terrified of just seeing a swarm on the move. It's not a normal thing that you would see.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people call us, because we're not allergic, but a lot of people are allergic to bees.
Oh yeah.
And so it becomes a danger to a lot of people. So
got it.
That's why we're kind of necessary.
Well, I mean, that's quite a sticky situation, definitely. And I'm not just talking honey there either.
Oh man, honey gets all over everything.
Oh boy, I can only imagine. Hey, but I mean, I know that bee wrangling, it's,
You have $1?
I actually don't, only a card on me, sorry.
It's cool.
So I know that bee wrangling is actually like a very, very unique job. For most people, that's not very typical at all.
No, I'm surprised that I'm even doing it. You know, it's just that uncommon, you know.
Yeah, so I was actually wondering, like, what was it that got you started and interested in, you know, being a bee wrangler?
Well, hilariously enough, social media. I was friends with one of my game night buddies.
Okay.
We play tabletop RPGs.
Hey, right on, man.
It's a hobby.
Hey, it's the best.
He started doing it as training for B-Man Dan, who I work for, who owns the company that I work for. He just started posting pictures of these crazy shots of bees and like being up in a palm tree, being in a roof, like being on top of a roof, and like pictures of hands like just picking up bees and like, and I was just absolutely like amazed that this was like even a thing, and I'm like, what? So I
would be too.
I asked my buddy, I was like, hey, you know, like, how can I get in on this? Like, it looks just really cool. Like, if you guys ever need help or anything. And so he remembered it, and it took about a year of silence, and one day I just got the phone call, and it was, you know, B-Man Dan, and he was just like, hey, I heard that you were interested in what we do, and I was like, I am, and I guess the rest they say is history.
Okay, wow. So it's kind of like you knew someone with that was working with somebody already, so you just kind of network. It was a network.
It was a networking benefit.
Wow, right on.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Here I am.
And here you are. That is so cool. So as far as bee wrangling or like any pest or insect extermination jobs, you know, what type of skills or education or personal characteristics would you say are, you know, crucial to the job?
Well, for this line of business, you're dealing with insects that sting.
Yeah, because I mean, it definitely doesn't sound like it's, you know, one of those jobs that anyone can do.
Yeah, I liken it to being like a firefighter. Or anyone else that has to deal with a hazard, an environmental hazard, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Bees being a live animal, and a dangerous one at that if they are set off, turned hostile, because they're not normally aggressive, so you will need to have an iron will, a smart sense of safety about you. You have to be good with animals. You have to sense animal mood, because the bees kind of operate as a singular organism.
Really? Even though they're a swarm?
They're a bunch of individuals, but you know, you've heard of the phrase or the concept of hive mind. Hive mind.
You know, I know a little bit about that, but explain to me a little bit.
Well, basically, it's you got thousands of bees, but since they all were born from the same queen, and they all have the same genetics, and they all operate by pheromone, and it's like a living superorganism. It's where like thousands of individuals create one organism, because when we move them, we understand that concept and use their behaviors to basically get them to move themselves into our relocation boxes.
Wow.
And that's how we make their transition as stress-free as possible, because bees can get happy, they can get mad, they can actually pass those feelings on to their next generation.
Dang.
So like, even if you were violent to just a couple of the bees from that hive, there's a chance that that hive can turn hostile. So, sometimes we deal with hives that have been tampered with other people have tried to poison them, get rid of them. So that didn't work, and all it did was make the bees mad anytime they saw people. So that's when the bees become dangerous.
Yeah.
Because anytime someone gets within their proximity, they learned from before that when humans came around, this happened.
Oh my gosh, sounds like a generational curse or something.
It's trauma. The trauma gets passed on to the next generation.
Dang.
So some of those hives need to be put down, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Because like if if they're too violent,
Yeah.
like literally we don't put down the whole hive. It's called requeening. It's where basically we have to get rid of the mama and replace the mama with a non-hostile queen.
Yeah.
So that way the babies will be born, you know, not angry at people, not just genetically predisposed to be hostile towards people.
Wow, that is nuts. I had no idea.
So you need to be good with animals. In our line of work, you also need to have a good mind about you to be able to put things together and deconstruct things, because bees get into things that require disassembly, extraction, because we have to cut into things, we have to take things apart just to be able to get their comb and get them out.
Yeah, again, what you mentioned earlier, being thorough about the job.
And sometimes the hives are gigantic and it takes a lot of work, a lot of there's been projects where we're on a roof doing live removal and we were there for almost like a whole day.
Oh my goodness.
And the hive was so massive that it had tons of honey, tons of combs, bees like everywhere.
Stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And some removals require multiple days.
Yeah.
You know, just to make sure we got everything and did everything right. So we're pretty thorough, because if you don't do it right,
they're gonna be back.
You just got the same problem all over again, and
oh my god,
got some unhappy customers. Yeah.
No, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Especially if you had customers having to deal with some angry bees.
Yeah, we've had people. Bee problem in their roof got so bad that honey started dripping through their chandeliers.
Woo! Is it just because it was just damaging their?
They've just been up there for so long that their hive got so massive that they made so much honey that it just saturated. Usually, when we had those summer heat waves, that will melt comb in rooftop, inside the roof. So summertime, we've had people call because they said they literally had honey coming through the ceiling and they don't know what happened. It's because the comb in the beehive in their roof had melted and all of it had just pooled. It's
Dang, I can't even imagine that.
Just imagine having honey damage. It's kind of a hilarious problem to have.
I've been in real estate for a while, but I haven't seen anything like that where you have an excessive amount of honey just damaging your roof.
We've dealt with people trying to sell their houses, and the realtors telling them they can't sell it unless they get rid of that beehive.
Oh,
so
definitely, that is nuts.
We've got some stressed people that we work with that are like, come on, you guys got to help us out, because spraying poison in there is not going to do anything.
Oh boy, because otherwise they'll come back again because of that comb.
Yeah.
Got it. Wow, that's nuts. That is pretty crazy.
Some other skills you would need, I would say, besides being good with animals, being able to take things apart, use tools, all that stuff.
Yes.
You kind of have to be a detective sometimes.
Yeah.
You got to be able to even find the bees, because all you see is them going into a tiny hole, but it's a hole in a wall, and if you cut in the wrong spot,
they're all behind there.
There's no heartbreak.
Oh, I hear ya. Oh, give us a song. Blue Angels. All right, America.
There's no heartbreak like cutting into the wall, popping it open, and just saying nothing, and you just see the bee still going in the wall, and you're just like,
it's going further down.
So,
but it's happened before, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's why this business is an investment. You have to invest in equipment.
Yeah.
We have infrared cameras to be able to see them through the walls.
Whoa.
We use laser temperature gauges so we can actually see the heat variance. We'd be like, okay,
that's extreme.
Yeah, be like, it's cold right there, but then it jumps 10 degrees right there. So it's just like, okay, the beehive has got to be right here because they generate heat. So we have all these, so you have to be a detective. You have to be able to find them, extract them, get them to not go berserk.
So in other words, you have to have some brains on you, as well as being able to have some sort of skills in handling animals.
Yeah, it unites a lot of different skill sets. Where
sounds like it. Wow.
If Also, you need to have a certain degree of physical fitness and stamina.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be wearing a suit, and while you're wearing the suit, sun's going to be blasting you. You know, you could be sweating the entire time. You could be moving across rooftops. You could have to be jumping over a bunch of different things, crawling through things just to get to the bees. So you want to be in tip-top shape in order to be able to handle all of the physicality involved.
Yeah.
You want to have good balance. If you're working off ladders, you know, you got to do, you know, falling is the last thing you want to happen.
But it could happen.
Yeah, especially when you're up there on a ladder about 20 feet in the air and you've got a bunch of bees just flying all over the place. And then you got a bee all of a sudden that made it inside your suit and it's crawling up the inside.
Oh, no.
And you're just up there and you're like, you know, you got to be able to stay calm.
Yeah.
You gotta have. That's why I said it takes a certain amount of courage.
Oh yeah.
And iron will.
This ain't for the faint-hearted.
Yeah,
Definitely
you gotta
not.
have an iron will because it takes. My first few days, it took a bit for me to get used to being able to sit basically in a storm of where all you hear is just the buzzing all around you. And getting used to it took a little while.
Straight up buzzing all over the place.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I remember for the first 2 weeks, even after I was done working and I came home,
Yeah.
I could swear like anything that buzzed I thought was a bee.
Oh,
So
boy.
I called it getting the buzzes. I was just like, I'd be sitting in my room and then laundry machine, but to me it would just sound like bees in the wall, just and I was just like, man, you know. And
So like mentally you feel like you're still at work when you get that.
yeah,
Oh man.
it stays with you. So, but it's a good thing to get used to. Yeah, this bee that flew around my head right
Oh
now.
yeah, it's right over there.
Yeah.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Yeah.
You could smell the honeycomb.
yeah.
Joking.
You smell me.
So I mean, as far as like bees in general, I know that you know, they're extremely important when it comes to pollinating plants, and I know there's a lot of concern about, you know, the declining bee population. I know with a lot of you know, big companies like industrial agriculture, they use a lot of pesticides. There's a lot of destruction of natural habitats, and even, you know, global warming, and it does have an effect on the bee population. So I was actually wondering, like, do you have any you know, immediate thoughts or opinions about this on, you know, maybe its effects?
Well, I can say here in Southern California, we don't seem to have that big of a problem with colony collapse disorder with the wild bees. It's more about the bees that are kept on farms.
Yeah.
They are just abandoning their hives. Drones are getting lost, foragers are getting lost, they aren't making their way back.
Yeah.
But we perform so many live removals with wild hives that they're actually thriving kind of out here.
Really?
It's just in the rest of the world, and with kept bees that are used for major farming. Like,
Yeah, for honey.
like in California, the almond growing industry, they buy the most bees to
Really?
pollinate their almond trees.
Well, I had no idea.
Yeah. So bees are a commodity. They're considered livestock.
Wow.
Yeah. So
See,
yeah,
I
they're-
didn't even know.
Yeah, for honey, for pollination. So it's those bees that are in trouble. Wild colonies and wild hives, they get affected too sometimes, but that's why our company even exists.
Yeah.
Because we can't really afford to kill the bees.
Yes.
You know, they are important to plant life, flowering
Of
plants,
course,
growing
they're
food.
really, really important to the
Yeah,
ecology.
growing food. So we really can't afford to just kill them because they're an inconvenience. So that's why.
true. Yeah.
That's why we exist, because not only are we made up of beekeepers and bee lovers, but just I joined before I even learned about bees proper, but
Yeah.
it's because I knew the importance of pollinators.
Yeah.
So I wanted to dive into that pool. That's what makes this job so satisfying. Is like, not only am I getting paid to catch bugs and look for them, we're helping propagate and perpetuate particularly an important species that we have taken for granted for so long, and now with their numbers in decline, and the fear of like, this is what would happen if we lost, major pollinating species like honeybees. Like it would shift everything, like global, like industries would shift, it's just a scary thought. So,
it is definitely a scary thought, especially for any businesses that have to deal with plants.
Yeah.
Definitely.
If you grow food that rely on flowering plants like fruits and all that goodness, you want those bees out there
them,
working. Like that's why the flowers look pretty, so that the bees come.
So they go over and collect all the pollen.
Oh yeah.
I hear ya. All right, that's great. So I mean, as far as I think like you mentioned this earlier, as far as bee wrangling, but what is your absolute favorite thing about bee wrangling, and why is it important to you?
No, my favorite things about it are every day I'm working in different locations, dealing with different. Each project is different, so I like the variety. I like the sense of adventure. I like the sense of the sense of accomplishment after like an especially difficult live removal. I like the feeling of bringing that, they're going to be taken somewhere where they're going to be taken care of.
Yes.
Not just being sprayed with poison and now letting them just rot, where they are.
Yeah, you have an ethical business
so
practice.
It feels very rewarding, very satisfying.
Yeah.
And I feel very fortunate to be doing this. It's not something you can just look up and be like, one day just be like, hey, I'm gonna start doing this. You gotta find someone who's been doing it. You gotta have like a mentor. It's like any other skill.
Yeah.
So you gotta have someone show you the ropes and someone who's serious about doing this.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's gonna be a hobby for the most part.
Got it. So it's very specialized. I mean, I could already kind of tell.
Yeah, it's very niche.
Yeah, but I mean, let's say if anyone was serious about like being a bee wrangler or an exterminator or of some sort, like what are some ways that they would be able to get started with that sort of thing? It's just like finding somebody in the industry,
seeking out the community.
Yeah.
Just basic networking.
Yeah.
Find out if there are people doing live removals.
Yeah.
Try to talk to them. It's just your standard way of, like trying to, get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
But like I think there are more and more live removal companies these days, but each one of them kind of conducts like the removals differently because there's no standard.
Got it.
And a lot of them are reluctant to share exactly like what they do for fear of competition.
Of course.
But it's the goal is the same.
Yeah.
Hopefully there will be more companies that are no-kill removal only. No vacuums too, because if they say live removal and they use vacuums, that's only like half true that they saved the bees.
Oh boy.
If you can imagine getting pulled through a tunnel at like 50 miles, 60 miles an hour, you're technically still alive. You're just
but it's
banged up and beat up, especially if you're a fragile honeybee.
Yeah.
They're too mangled after a vacuum to really be functional and alive and be able to do their jobs and live as honeybees.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that being something traumatic too.
Yeah. So,
extremely traumatic. Wow. Dang. That's crazy. Well, I know like as far as a lot of people, just friends, family, even acquaintances, I know that there's a lot of people who freak out when a bee or a wasp is in the room too. Of course, the fear of getting stung.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that scares a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I was actually just wondering, so what's the best piece of advice for anyone who's in the situation where they, like, some people will just start freaking out if there's a bee in the room? What do you do?
If they're inside?
Yeah, like, let's say it's just in your room.
If it's daytime, just open the windows, because naturally a bee that's inside is probably a scout bee that somehow got lost inside the house.
Yeah.
Or a forager that somehow made their way inside the house, because as we know, bees are very job specific.
Really?
Yeah, you got scout bees whose job it is to specifically scout out places that are suitable for the hive to move into, and then you got the foragers, who are the workers that you see going around in the flowers collecting the pollen and nectar and stuff.
Which ones are the ones that go and sting you? Is that all of them?
If you go near a beehive, the ones that are out to get you, those are the guard bees.
Guard bees.
Yeah, I mean that's the best way to describe them.
Yeah.
They're guarding the hive, so they're gonna come out and try to drive you away. Especially if they've got a lot of honey and babies, they're gonna let you know real quick that you're getting too close. But if they're inside, they're drawn to sunlight. So naturally, they just want to move outside. So you're just gonna want to open a window, and it's sadly, like, if you can open a window that doesn't have a screen, they'll just want to fly out.
Okay.
The last thing they want to do is stay in there. but the fear of bees, though, or aphophobia, as it's called, it's very real. It's like arachnophobia. Like it's hard to tell a person who has aphophobia that it's just a bee. Yeah. Because we deal with some people that have like extreme aphophobia, but they still want to save the bees.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Because I tell them, I'm like, oh, I'm here to do your bee removal, and they're like, oh, thank God, just let me know when it's over, And I'm like, all right. And then she's like, I try to talk to them about the removal, and then they're like, they want me to skip the details because they're just too terrified, but they're glad to see them go, but not killed. And I'm like, well, for considering
that's great.
For not just hating them and, thinking they deserve, to get poisoned.
Yeah, or people who just freak out and say, kill it with fire.
Yeah. So I feel like spiders get a bad rap. Like, they get killed simply for being there. It's like most insects, because arachnophobia is just a very powerful thing. Same thing with apophobia. But we try to comfort them. We're like, like if bees get stuck inside, wasps are a whole nother beast. They are. Yeah, we deal with wasps too. We knock down their nests and we get calls for it.
Most people want those dead though, right?
Yeah, they're actually pretty harmless unless you directly mess with their nest.
Okay.
Like if you see the paper wasps with their nests up in the eaves, they're not going to go out of their way to come down and sting you. But I've had to remove them. I've gotten stung by wasps. It's not fun. I've gotten stung by bees probably, I don't know, well over 500 something times now, dude. Like,
dang.
But I'd much rather get stung by a bee than a wasp. It's a funny thing to say, but the wasp can just sting you.
Without dying, yeah.
So if you get a wasp in your house, same mechanic, they just want to go outside.
Okay.
So you just open a window, open a door, just let them out, and they're not going to want to come back in.
Yeah, that sounds like some pretty sound advice to go and follow. Sounds easy,
Yeah, it is.
As far as like bee stings or wasp stings, do you have any recommendations for that? Like as far as, because I know that it hurts.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you get stung?
I just take it and keep working, honestly, because it happens. When I first started, I used to worry about it, especially since we'd be hand scooping bees with gloves on.
Oh yeah.
And the bees are quick to sense your nervousness.
Really?
And like I've gotten stung like doing scoopfuls of them, and I would just be nervous like scooping them because it's not a normal thing you do is hold a giant glob of bees and move them into a box. But sometimes some of the bees pick up on that and then panic sting. So it's just like I've gotten stung plenty of times on the hands, even with gloves on.
Yeah.
They've gotten into my suit. And there's sometimes, unless you're allergic, there's really nothing you can do besides just accept it. Unless
just take it.
When you start swelling up, though, like if you swell up really bad from, like, fortunately I don't swell up after
that's
getting
great.
stung, but I know other people do. Like it's massive inflammation. Just ice, stuff like that. It's kind of just best to let the venom run its course.
Just take it, right?
Yeah, it'll pass. Unless you're allergic, there's really like you know, like just the pain to deal with.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's probably just the worst part is the pain and the soreness from that initial sting.
Yeah.
Because as many times as I've been stung, I still get stung on spots that just kind of make you have to take a break. Like I got stung on the nipple. Yeah, that was. I had to get up, walk away, and just kind of walk it off for about 10 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Silently cursing to myself and just. Yeah, that hurt pretty bad.
Oh my goodness, that
Yeah.
sounds so funny, but at the same time, it's like, well, you know, it is what it is. You know, when you get stung.
You can rub ointments on it, topical stuff to alleviate the inflammation.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that just falls under the iron will, you know, thing that you need to do this job, like, because you're gonna get stung.
It's a no-brainer.
It's
a
inevitability.
given.
You cannot get through the job
Yeah.
without getting stung. I've gone weeks. Like I go on streaks of days where I don't get stung. Like, and I'm scooping thousands of bees with my hands. I'm like dealing with hostile hives. And then there are the random days where I'm dealing with like a really pleasant hive.
Yeah.
And I just randomly get stung because I put my hand on her stinger. You know, like, you know, it's like wasn't even like intentional. I just accidentally pushed my thumb into her stinger, you know. So like it's funny how it happens sometimes and how it doesn't happen sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Got it. But you will get stung.
Yeah. I mean, there are some scary times where, like, if your face is too close against your veil and you're dealing with a hive that's really pissed off and the guard bees are out on full attack, they're going to be all up on your face. And you can see them physically trying, like, if that veil wasn't there, you would have left looking like your head had balloons and they.
Oh my gosh,
And
that is scary.
I've gotten stung on the lip, cheek, and like I've learned to wear a hat inside my suit because that will push the veil off my face.
because the visor, right?
A lot of times you're gonna have to look up and like do things, and your suit's gonna pull against your face, and then.
And if it's making contact,
the bees will exploit that. One of them's gonna fly up and get you,
sting you in the face.
And you're just gonna have to like sit there, especially if you're like, you know, trying to balance on something.
Yeah.
You know, or walking across a roof.
While you're trying to do other things and while you're dealing with bees.
This job can be dangerous, so a lot of safety precautions. And safety can't even do any of it. But yeah, getting stung is inevitable and unavoidable. So if you're squeamish about that, then this job may not be for you. Yeah.
All right. But for people who, like, let's say, you know, they might take an interest in, you know, working with bees or becoming an exterminator or something like that, what would you say is the best piece of advice you can give as far as this profession?
In the community, talk to the community. You manage to become an assistant or someone takes you under their wing and you get to do live bee removals and learn the ins and outs. You should cherish it because it's I don't know, it's one of those rare jobs that you feel like you're doing something really good and not just getting paid, and all the hard work feels like it's for something. You know,
that you're contributing. That's good.
You really feel like, you know, don't want to say like you're out saving the world, but at least you're doing something to not destroy it.
Well, you're helping it.
Yeah, you're definitely.
That's the thing. You're helping the community.
Even
too,
if
if anything.
Even if it's in a little area, or you know, like just contained to like your working area, at least you're helping with the environment. And future generations.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so I mean, it's worth it if you could get your foot in the door. And if you find yourself doing this or get invited to do it, you should just take the opportunity. So even if even if it's not for you and you try it out, at least you got to say that, you know, you're hanging out like with a bunch of bees flying everywhere, and
Well, it's definitely an experience. Wow.
yeah, and the feeling of scooping bees is pretty phenomenal, and done it enough, and the bees are doing what you want them to do,
Yeah.
and you're just watching them just walk themselves into the box.
Wow.
Yeah, it's magic. That's to me one of the most satisfying parts, and it's a magical part of the job is when you do the removal, do everything right. The bees are calm. They're actually marching themselves into the box, and a lot of photo opportunities for that. So we always
That is
are
wonderful.
very proud of our work. So you could always check it out on our Instagrams and stuff, especially B-Man Dan, my boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so good luck if you want to break into this job and it sounds interesting. It's definitely one of a kind, and it's not without its hardships and its
Of
learning
course.
curve.
Yeah.
But like most professional jobs that are very specific skill sets,
Yes.
it's it's worth it. You just got to find someone who does it and can teach you. Yeah, that's the hard part.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds great. So, bonus question, Emberlyn, when you aren't bee wrangling, what do you like to do in your free time?
Well, I like to work out,
Distance
running, marathon running. I'm a father of a 5-year-old, so I
Oh, that's fun,
got
kids.
my dad duties. So I enjoy spending time with my kid.
Yeah.
Do tabletop gaming, like Dungeons and Dragons.
Best game ever.
Oh yes, infinite possibilities and infinite fun. And I don't know, I'm kind of boring other than my job and like those hobbies.
Well, I mean, I imagine it takes up a lot of your time
Yeah.
anyways, but you still have a lot of fun doing it. So, hey, you know what? You get the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't trade it for anything. I think I have one of the coolest jobs that you can have. Other people call me crazy. Some people have called me a Martian when they see me in my bee suit.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. But it makes me laugh. It feels good when like you're doing a bee removal and people walk by and they're like, "Thank you." So you get thanked by people like when they see what you're doing.
Right on.
And a lot of people will walk by and you can educate them.
Yes.
A lot of people are genuinely concerned.
Yeah.
So being visible and being thanked is a really cool feeling. And
Absolutely.
That's why I love this job, and it's kind of hard not to tell. Like when people ask, like, "Well, what do you do outside of this?" It's like it's kind of hard. It's like I guess I do those other things. But it's like it's awesome to have a job that you feel so good about that you talk about it like it's just a thing, like a hobby or a fun thing that you do. Because really, I'm doing real life Pokemon. I get to catch them all.
That's true, huh?
I get
Literally.
to catch bugs, and it's like other people do that for fun.
That's true. That is very
like,
true. I did not think about it that way, but hey, it makes sense when you do.
Yeah, it's really awesome to show up and be looking for bees and to realize that like I'm literally like this is my job is to get paid to go catch bugs. Yeah, so.
Oh boy, that is so cool.
RPGs, bees, fitness, dadhood. I don't know. That's about it for me.
Wow. Hey, sounds like a good gig to me. Well, that is all the that's everything on my end. But do you have any final thoughts or mentions for our listeners?
Yeah, if you got a bee problem, got bees in anything, or if you're interested in bee removals or just want to see how it's done, you can check out our Instagrams. You can check out B-Man Dan. He's my mentor, taught me everything I know, runs the company. You can check us out. You can go to our website, bmandan.com. We'll explain everything, if you're more interested about bees in general, like there's lots of bee communities out there on social media, very easy to join. Lots of pretty cool about teaching classes. There's a couple out there that teach, so if you're interested in bees, honey, that whole industry, you know, they're out there.
Yeah, so it should be pretty easy to find you guys then.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, if you're interested in keeping your own bees, you know, like, because bees are kind of a
That's
strange,
intense.
kind of a strange pet to have, but there are backyard beekeepers.
Dang.
You know, so we're all out there. They're all out there. If you're ever interested, because we've got lots of people that joined us purely because we were in the area and they were just like fascinated, and then all of a sudden, like, a few weeks later, it's like I'm working with them. I was just like, what the heck, you know? But that's just how it happens. It's all organic.
Wow.
You know? So like, we're out there. It's hopefully more people doing this. Like, it becomes a growing thing in other parts of the country, because there's bees everywhere and they need it. And they need it. So, yeah, I mean, that's all I got to say. I mean, if you see us out there in our bee suits, just say hi. Don't be alarmed if you see bees flying everywhere. If you see a giant
cloud.
If you see a giant mass of bees hanging out on your tree all of a sudden, don't freak out. You know, they're just resting. You can always call someone.
Yeah.
You don't need to have them killed. So we'll happily come and take them away.
Hey, that sounds good. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Emberlyn, for joining the show. Again, this is Casual Coffee Talk, and our topic for bee wrangling. And so, if anything, too, we will have links in the description as well. All right, thanks so much, Emberlyn, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Thank you.